Okay, let's dive in. Picture this. It's the very, very end of World War II in Europe. May 1945.
Yeah, the whole Nazi regime is basically collapsing. Utter chaos.
Right, but you've still got these pockets of hardcore Waffen-SS fighting on fanatics, really.
Absolutely. Loyal to the bitter end, refusing to surrender.
And in the middle of all this,
Per-
something truly bizarre happens. You get American GIs and German soldiers, Wehrmacht soldiers, fighting together.
Shoulder to shoulder, yeah. Not against each other, but against the SS.
It sounds like something straight out of Hollywood, doesn't it? Almost unbelievable.
It really does. A totally unique event, pretty much.
Right.
And what's so fascinating isn't just that it happened, but, why? What led to this temporary alliance?
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into today, the Battle of Castle Itter. Our mission, really, is to understand how this happened, the people, their reasons, what the sources tell us.
And we've got some interesting material to work with.
We do. There's an interview with Stephen Harding. He wrote The Last Battle, a key book on this. We've got Wikipedia for background, a Reddit discussion with some different takes, articles from the Chronicles of History and Beaches of Normandy tours for more narrative, and even an academic piece, The Grave Diggers of France, looking specifically at the prisoners.
That sounds like a good mix. So the setting Castle Itter, we need to picture that first, right?
Definitely. It's in the Austrian Tyrol. The proper old fortress dates back centuries, like the 13th century.
Real castle.
Yeah. But by the time our story starts, after Austria was annexed by Germany in 1938, the SS had taken it over, turned it into a prison.
And not just any prison. It was for high-profile French figures, wasn't it? VIP prisoners.
Exactly. We're talking former prime ministers, Daladier, Reynaud, top generals like Gamelin and Weygand, even Jean Barotra, the tennis star.
Wow, a real collection of French leaders, and they were held there along with others.
Yeah, the sources mention Eastern European prisoners, too, basically used for forced labor. And that Gravediggers article really gets into the complicated relationships between these French guys.
Ah, right, because they weren't all friends, were they? They had history.
Yeah.
Blame for France's defeat in 1940, political disagreements.
For sure. Big disagreements. Republicans versus Pétain supporters all crammed in together adds another layer,
Definitely. So the big question hanging over all this is, how on earth did German Wehrmacht soldiers end up defending this castle alongside Americans and these French prisoners against the SS? It seems impossible.
Totally counterintuitive. So let's set the scene a bit wider. Late April, early May 1945, the Third Reich is just disintegrating.
Hitler's dead, killed himself April 30th. Berlin's fallen. But like you said, pockets of SS are still fighting fiercely.
And for the prisoners in Castle Itter, this wasn't necessarily good news, was it? They were in serious danger.
Huge danger. The sources say the castle's SS commander, Sebastian Wimmer, had orders. Explicit orders to kill all the prisoners if the Allies got close.
Imagine living under that threat, day in, day out, knowing that liberation could actually mean execution.
Terrible. So under that pressure, they tried to get word out. Desperate measures.
Yeah, 2 attempts we know about. First, a guy named Zvonimir Kukovic, a Yugoslav prisoner working there as a handyman. He tried to get to Innsbruck.
Brave move. Did he make it?
We don't know what happened to him. It's unclear. Shows how risky it was.
Absolutely. But the second attempt?
That one worked.
Yeah.
Andreas Krobot, he was a cook there. He managed to get to the nearby town Virgil and contacted the Austrian resistance.
Ah, okay. So that was the crucial link, the resistance.
Yes. And that's where Wehrmacht Major Josef Gang comes in. Sepp Gangl.
Right. Tell us about him.
He was a decorated German army officer, but he'd become pretty disillusioned with the Nazis, actually made contact with that same Austrian resistance group in Virgil.
So he was already sort of leaning away from the regime.
Seems like it. But initially, the sources say he was hesitant about storming the castle himself. His unit was small, depleted, taking on the SS directly. It was a big risk.
Understandable. He needed more firepower, more men.
Exactly. And then something else happened at the castle around this time. Something pretty sinister.
Oh, what was that?
Edward Weider, the former commandant of Dachau concentration camp, showed up at Castle Itter.
The Dachau commandant. Why was he there?
It's not entirely clear, but he died there very soon after arriving. Suspicious circumstances, the sources say. Maybe suicide, maybe killed.
Oh, okay. That definitely would have ramped up the tension and the fear.
Absolutely. It paints this picture of total chaos and the breakdown of any kind of order. So after Weider's death, and with the main SS guards apparently having abandoned the castle itself, Gangl saw how vulnerable the prisoners were.
The SS guards left. But weren't SS units still nearby?
Yes, that's the key thing. The regular guards might have gone, but Waffen-SS units were definitely in the area and potentially heading towards the castle. So Gangler realized, okay, his small group isn't enough.
So what did he do?
He made the call. The only real option was to get help from the Americans who were advancing nearby. He headed for Kufstein.
Kufstein. Okay, and who did he find there?
He found the U.S. 12th Armored Division, specifically 1st Lieutenant John C. Lee Jr., Jack Lee.
An American lieutenant.
Okay.
And Gangel, a German major, just walked up and asked for help.
Pretty much. And this is where it gets even wilder. Lee hears the story. VIP French prisoners, abandoned castle, SS closing in.
And he decides to act.
He does. Gets his captain's okay, apparently, but it was still a big decision. Technically, he probably didn't have direct orders for this kind of mission, but he felt he had to do something.
Gutsy move. What's amazing is how quickly Lee and Gangel started working together. An American and a German officer?
Yeah, they actually went on a reconnaissance mission together, drove towards the castle to check it out. Former enemies, now allies planning a rescue.
Assessing the danger, the castle's defenses.
Exactly. And realizing they needed tanks, but the logistics were a nightmare.
Ah, right. The sources mention the roads.
Yeah, narrow Austrian mountain roads. And a weak bridge nearby. It meant Lee couldn't bring a huge force.
So how many tanks actually made it?
Just a few Shermans, it seems, including Lee's own tank, which had a nickname.
Basat and Jenny? Basat and Jenny. Okay, so a very small force then. A few Americans, Gangel's handful of German soldiers.
And Lee's tank crew. That was pretty much it. Heading into a castle, potentially about to be attacked by, well, who knew how many SS.
So they get to the castle, this mixed group of defenders. What happens then?
They have to set up defenses quickly. Around the main keep, the strongest part of the castle.
And the French prisoners. Were they just hiding?
That's the amazing part. No, they refused to just hide in the cellar. These former prime ministers, generals, they actually wanted to fight.
Seriously? They took up arms?
Yes. Sources like the Beaches of Normandy Tours article name them Reynaud, Gamelin, Barotra, the tennis player, Delaroque, Clemenceau's son. They grabbed weapons and joined the defense line.
Wow. That's incredible. Former politicians and generals fighting alongside American GIs and German soldiers against the SS.
It's an unbelievable image, isn't it? That night, May 4th, the SS started probing their defenses. Small attacks, testing them out.
Trying to find weaknesses. Did the defenders do anything to prepare?
Yeah, they apparently put up some barbed wire, used whatever they could find. But there was also this hint of trouble. One source mentions maybe one of Gangel's men at the gatehouse deserted or betrayed them. Shows how fragile things were.
Still underlying tension and mistrust, perhaps.
Maybe. But the real fight came the next morning, May 5th.
The main SS assault.
Yes. The Chronicles of History says it was a pretty big force, maybe 150 Waffen-SS soldiers.
That's a lot more than the defenders.
Way more. And they brought heavy weapons, 20-millimeter anti-aircraft guns, and crucially, an 88-millimeter flak gun.
An 88. Oof. That's devastating anti-tank firepower against a castle wall and tanks.
Exactly. It started doing serious damage. And tragically, it knocked out Lee's tank, Basat and Jenny.
Their main heavy weapon gone. That's bad.
Really bad. Gangel knew they were massively outgunned. He managed to get a call through to the Austrian resistance back in Mergel, begging for help.
Did they send anyone?
They tried, but all they could muster was like 2 more Austrian resistance fighters and a teenage boy.
Oh, man. Not exactly the reinforcements they needed.
Not at all. And then things got even worse. Their radio went dead, cut off, completely isolated.
Surrounded, outnumbered, outgunned, and no way to call for help. It sounds hopeless.
It really does. But then, another moment of incredible bravery. Jean Baretra, the tennis star.
What did he do?
He volunteered to make a run for it, to break through the SS lines on foot and carry a message to the nearest main American unit, the 142nd Infantry Regiment.
Get out of the castle through the SS siege lines. That's insane courage.
Totally. The Beaches of Normandy account says he literally vaulted over a wall, dodged bullets, ran through enemy positions, even bluffed his way past some German soldiers by pretending to be someone else.
Just wow. Did he make it?
He did. He reached the 142nd's headquarters, delivered the message, pleading for reinforcements, and apparently he then asked for a GI uniform so he could go back and fight.
What a guy. Incredible determination.
And his insane dash worked. Help was finally on the way.
So the cavalry arrives.
Yeah, late that afternoon, around 4 p.m. on May 5th, American tanks rolled up. One source mentions another tank called Boche Buster, which is quite a name, along with infantry from the 142nd.
That must have been an amazing sight for the defenders.
Oh, absolutely. The arrival of that force completely changed the game. The SS attackers saw they were outnumbered now, outgunned. They broke and scattered.
They capture many.
Yeah, over 100 SS were taken prisoner right away, and more surrendered later. The battle was over.
A victory, then. Against all odds. What happened afterwards? Recognition.
There was. Captain Lee got the Distinguished Service Cross, a major U.S. award for bravery.
He deserved it, making that call to go in the first place.
Definitely. And Major Gangl, the German officer. He's remembered as a national hero in Austria today. There's a street named after him in Würgl.
A fitting tribute. What about the other German officer involved? Schrader.
Kurt Siegfried Schrader. He was also captured initially, but eventually released after the war. But amidst all this, the victory and the survival, there was one really significant loss, wasn't there?
Yes. Major Gangl, the hero of the hour.
He didn't survive the battle itself. How did he die?
He was killed by an SS sniper's bullet. Tragically, he was trying to pull Paul Reynaud, the former French prime minister, out of the line of fire. Moved him to safety, but got hit himself.
Oh, no, right at the end. A real hero's death, in a way, but so tragic.
It really is. The single fatality among the core defenders. And it was him. A stark reminder of the cost.
It really makes you think about those Wehrmacht soldiers, Gangl and his men. What was their motivation? Why fight with Americans against the SS?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Reddit discussion we looked at floated a few ideas, maybe hoping for better treatment after the war.
A pragmatic choice, maybe?
Possibly. Or maybe pressure from Gangl. Or maybe it was simpler. Maybe it was just, the right thing to do in that moment.
The historian on that Reddit thread seemed to lean that way, didn't they? That it felt like the right thing.
Yeah. When you look at the SS, what they represented, especially at that point, maybe aligning against them, even with Americans and French prisoners, just felt like the only decent choice left, fighting extreme brutality.
That makes a lot of sense. And you think about Stephen Harding talking to the survivors for his book. Hearing their personal stories must give such insight into those individual choices under fire.
Absolutely. And the French prisoners, too. That Gravediggers article points out these guys had major political beefs with each other. They blamed each other for France's fall.
Right, deep divisions.
But when the SS were literally at the gates trying to kill them, those divisions faded pretty quickly. They fought together. Survival trumped politics.
So when you pull it all together, the Battle of Castle Itter, it's just, well, it's unique, almost unbelievable.
Completely. An anomaly. Right at the very end of the war in Europe. This temporary, bizarre, but successful alliance. Americans, Germans, French prisoners.
Against the SS. It shows the chaos, the shifting loyalties, the sheer unpredictability of those final days.
The image itself is just so striking, isn't it? GIs and Wehrmacht soldiers defending a castle side by side with politicians they might have despised just weeks before. It really messes with our neat categories of us versus them.
It absolutely does. And maybe that's the final thought for you listening right now. What does this incredibly strange battle actually tell us about war itself, its complexities? About how alliances can form in the most unexpected ways?
And about the choices people make. Individuals under immense pressure, facing overwhelming odds when all the normal rules are broken down.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, could there be other stories like this? Other forgotten moments of weird collaboration buried in history, just waiting to be uncovered?
It's a fascinating thought. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Battle of Castle Itter.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. We hope you'll look into it more. It's a truly remarkable story with a lot to think about.